Hello. Okay, hold on a sec. Look what I got. Wait. Stylus. Cool. I'll show you some close-ups later. One more. Look at this. I can't believe... I just got the standard edition of the game, and they were giving these away with them, which is like this book that, if you open it up, it's got like graph paper, so you can like design... Is this an awkward way to hold my hand? So you can design your own Mario Maker levels on graph paper. I would have killed for this when I was a kid. I wouldn't have killed anyone, but I would have really wanted that. Oakley McDougally, we can finally get into the video. Now, before we get too deep in the discussion and the weeds of... It's really hot in here, by the way. Hold on. Before we can get too deep into the weeds of like how Mario Maker 2 is kind of coming together as a game and how the reviews are making it look, we need to talk about the reviews in the first place, because they're pouring through the front door and they're looking quite good. It's all mostly positive. There's a couple of negatives that we need to touch on, but they're mostly positive. The thing that I really want to touch on here though, right now the game looks worse than ever. And that is because, well, they're getting a version of the game that doesn't have very many levels. They had to rush levels out the door themselves to even try to create. And there's just not updates out for the game. Now, the updates part can be said about any game, but the other two are kind of left to creative games like this, being a community behind them and making these magical levels for you to play. Without these magical levels for you to play, without these fantastic designers out there who just know how to do cool stuff with this game is probably a better term for it. You're literally, or these reviewers are literally just playing a worse version of this game. And so, while the reviews are coming out, and they're super duper positive so far, it's just going to get better from here on out, and that's exciting. Like, imagine a year from now when we get a whole bunch of DLC just poured into this game, and we just get like new items and updates, and the multiplayer is fixed. This is going to be a brilliant game at that stage, and right now it's still a great game, and if you're picking it up on day one, it's going to be a fantastic game. It's just not going to be as good as it could be, but that's exciting. That's not worrying. All right, let's talk about how the game is shaping up. Now, the thing that I actually want to talk about before we go into everything else is the music. The music to this game is fantastic. It puts a lot of remixes, like, obviously a lot of it's brought off from the original Mario Maker 2, but all the new music that I'm hearing sounds really good, and I don't hear enough reviewers touching on that. And that's kind of disappointing, because the music that I'm hearing from this, wow-wee. Moving into the gameplay, I think we should talk about the story here, because the story to this game is kind of, or the story mode, is the biggest kind of addition to this game from the original. Obviously, there's like new blocks, new stuff in the Maker, new controls, all this other type of stuff, but the biggest just new addition in general is this new story mode, which from what I've heard from the reviews is just going down super well. It grows in complexity as you get further and further into this, and it's a great way, especially if you're new to Mario Maker in general, it is a fantastic way to just learn the intricacies and learn what you can get out of Mario Maker levels in the first place, because these levels are pre-built by people who aren't just trying to troll you. Not saying that everyone out there is, but there's going to be a few. Trust me. Also, the writing and the character design to the story mode seems to be on point as well. They seem to be funny, it seems to be kind of quirky, and I'm getting that type of vibe from it. So that's definitely part that I really want to know more about. And just dive. Everything's diving today. There's a lot of diving. Water theme day. We're going to swim through the ocean of characters out there. Now, next we're going to move on to something that's a bit of a Debbie Downer, which I hate talking about Debbie Downers, but we're going to do it right now because we need to, and that is what most of the negatives I'm hearing from the reviews are. I didn't just read one and then come out here and talk to you. So the thing that most people seem to be just grabbing onto and just not letting go here is the missing features from the first Mario Maker that didn't make their way into number 2. Now, some of these might be excusable, some of them might not even matter, and some of them might actually be kind of a bigger deal. So the one that I think is probably the biggest deal is lanky old Mario. So lanky Mario could jump really high. It was a bit of a springy Mario and had like this different physics to him, and it did allow for different puzzle design and levels. He's gone. He's completely gone out of the game. That's a bit of a shame, but not the biggest deal. Now, the ones that I personally just kind of go, I care. I do care. Like, guys, I care. But also, I don't care like that much. So my level of care is only like a certain level for these, and it's not going to drag my review score on this game down that much at all, since I'm not reviewing the game. So here I'm talking about the fly swatting minigame because, well, I didn't enjoy the fly swatting minigame anyway. I sucked at it. And then I'm also talking about the amiibos, which is probably a little bit of a bigger deal. The amiibo costumes that you could dress up your 8-bit Mario in, and to be like a different character when you're running through those levels, they're just gone out of the game now. So that's disappointing, but kind of understandable in a way as well. Not that understandable. Speaking of understandable, the reason that I can understand that this would affect some people more than others is that the way they're saying it, the way these people who it's really affecting are saying it, is that it is kind of losing some of the Mario Maker charm that the old game had. So like the title screen, you could tap on the letters and it'd do quirky things, and you can't do that anymore. Or when Mario fell down a ledge and he fell, and like every now and then he'll just have this weird kind of they're gone. They're not there anymore. And so like these weird quirky things, not a big deal, but they're gone, and that can lose charm. Now folks, let's talk about something important that is missing, that every reviewer brought up with good reason, because it is massively missing, and that is the multiplayer that I want, you want, we all want, so we can just play this with our friends instead of just a bunch of randoms. Now, I am worried about this. I'm worried that Nintendo said they're listening and that they're going to take a long time to actually fix it. They're not going to come out tomorrow and say, hey, guess what, a week after launch, you can play with your friends. I don't think that's happening. I honestly think that like it might be a best case scenario here, a month or two. It could be longer. It could be longer. I want some clarity there. I want Nintendo to be like, okay, expect it soon or expect it here, because I'm worried. I'm worried that they just said they're going to fix it and they're not working as hard as their little tushes can take them to actually fix this problem. It's quite simple, really. Multiplayer it just ain't going to be the same with a bunch of strangers. And honestly, when I'm streaming it, I just want to be able to stream this and get like, the community to come in and jump in and play with me, rather than being like, hey, look, I'm playing multiplayer with a bunch of strangers while you guys all sit there and watch. It's like, it's a massive flaw. Massive. Also, I want to jump into that endless Mario mode, because I just want to know if I'm going to feel like I'm missing the 100-man Mario. I really liked the structure of the 100-man Mario. I thought that was a good mode to have, and it gave you like a clear goal to get to here to here. Endless seems cool, but I am a bit bummed that they did take that out. So I really want to find out if playing it, I'm just going to be like, well, this is just the same thing and it doesn't bother me that much, or whether my brain is going to be like, Eric, where is this, buddy? What's missing here? I'm sad now. Sad brain. Something that will actually give my brain that sudden hit of dopamine that it just craves so badly, it needs it, is the Maker Mode. I really feel like all these new additions to this Maker Mode, and just watching like the reviewers and the levels that they're putting together, it just has my brain on this rush of just looking at them going, I could use this and this and this to make all of these cool different products. And so products is a dumb word for it. So I feel like when I jump into this Maker Mode and actually get the chance to play around with this just bevy of absolute cool new items that have a range of new features, I'm just going to be in awe of what I can get out of this. I think it's just, I'm going to sit down and just stare for it just a little while till my brain kind of processes all this information. A lot of brain talk today. Oceans and brains is the theme of today. So, to throw a couple of complaints in here that I've heard to make sure my brain doesn't get too much of a rush of dopamine from talking about Mario Maker, I have heard that when using the touchscreen, the real estate can be rather taken up by everything around the outside, making the space that you actually have to work with just not quite big enough. Then I've also heard that TV mode has had mixed receptions. Some people don't mind the controls, some people don't like them at all. So I think that's going to be very much a personal preference thing. I'm going to prefer using the stylus and the touchscreen no matter what. Hold on a second. I didn't realize that. I just thought about this. That's going to suck with streamers. And I'm sure the streamers have already thought about this. The guys who already stream a lot of Mario Maker, is that the old one, you had the gamepad that you could edit on, but people could see what you're doing via the stream on the TV. Now I don't have any other choice but to use button controls on the TV. It makes sense because obviously people can't see you playing handheld on a stream, but I can't use the stylus and edit while I'm talking and... Okay, yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of time to process that now. I'm definitely glad they took the old 16-digit long code that you had to put in for each level away for a 9-digit long code now. But it's still a code. It's still one day we're going to get with the times, Nintendo, and we're going to make this easier for everyone. That's not today, though. Now, if you've played your way through the story mode and still happen to suck at making levels like many of you will, sorry, it is the fact of the matter, you can do this new tutorial mode that is going to teach you how to do some more intricate things with some of these blocks as well as the basics. So that's cool that they've added that, and I hope some of you take advantage of that. Now, I am definitely going to be talking more Mario Maker in the future when I've had a chance to get my little sausages on the game itself. But for now, that's going to do it. I do also want to mention that if you are after someone who streams Mario Maker, I will be streaming some of this and other Nintendo games in the future, so be sure to check out my Twitch channel, which there will be links for stuff everywhere. Mostly below. And considering this game is just going to grow with us, the community who are going to build it, I think it's going to be something that we're going to talk about for quite a while here, and I hope you look forward to that. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, make sure to hit the like button, and make sure if you want to see more videos like this, to hit the subscribe button. And I forgot how to end the video. That's right, for great Nintendo entertainment, remember, you can count on me.
Mwah.